Welcome back, everybody. Simple Life Remedy.org is the website. Simple Life Show. It is still September 15th, 2019. This is Joe here with you. I just want to do a really quick video where I wanted to talk about a place that I went to a couple days ago. It was my birthday on the 13th, Friday the 13th. And it was just a normal day for me, and I just wanted to do something different. My wife actually convinced me to go to this place called Terrortown. It was just outside of Cincinnati, Ohio. And apparently it used to be a kind of old West town, and you could go there and there was all kinds of different things you could do, different shops and so forth. And so I decided, okay, well, that's fine. Yeah, I can do that. Sure. And so I went ahead and we went out there. It took about 2 hours to get there because we live in Columbus. And so when we got there, it's supposed to be this basically a horror type of theme to this. It's interactive. You have different levels of entrance. You could pay, I think it was like $25 just to get into the place. And $40 you could get a wristband or a glow-in-the-dark wristband, which allows everyone that is, the actors and the people working there, they can interact with you, touch you, do whatever they want to, I guess within certain limitations, because police are there. I felt that was, I guess, a good thing. So here's my kind of breakdown. I had to, when I got back home, I ran to Yelp and I went on their website. I went on Facebook and all this other kind of stuff because I was really disappointed in this place. It was really hyped up to be this really terrifying experience, and it, for $40 a pop. When we got there, they said it was discount night, right? And we had already paid like close to $60 because I paid full price for mine, and we got my wife's ticket was for discounted on Groupon. So I wanted the full immersive experience. They didn't have anything on Groupon for that, so I was like, okay. And we got there and say, oh, it was discount night. I believe they were only selling tickets for maybe $10 or $15 or something like that. So we convinced them to both give us these red glow-in-the-dark bracelets. So we put those on and we went in. Everything was fine. And we started walking through this town, and it wasn't long before I started to see a whole bunch of shops and stuff. And there was mediums and fortune tellers and stuff like that. And I immediately thought, oh, wow, this is free. So let's go in and get our fortune read, because I honestly have never had my fortune read. It's something that I've wanted to do just for kicks. But we went in there and they said, oh, it's $20 to get your fortune read. So we paid $40. I paid $40 for my ticket to get into this place. And then they want $20 extra to get their fortune read. It really reminded me of some of those places, some of those events that come to your city and they have a whole bunch of tents everywhere and it's just a whole bunch of people trying to sell you stuff. Well, this was the exact same thing, but only it was worse. Meaning that every shop that we went in, it was just a bunch of garbage. It was literally a bunch of garbage. And, there was different shops that had knives and jewelry. There was one that had candy. That was interesting. There was another one, I believe, that had some CBD products. I was interested in that because I'm always interested in the CBD kind of stuff. So I went in there and I was immediately ignored. I walked around for probably 5 minutes, touching almost everything in the store, looking at it, evaluating it. She just did not want to interact with me at all. Went to another place because I separated from my wife because she was enamored with some of the Asian stuff that was in some of these stores. I'm like, this doesn't even go along with the Old West or Halloween for that matter. There was nothing horrific about that, nothing scary. So the guy in there, I'm not going to throw him under the bus or anything. He was really helpful. He seemed like he was enthusiastic. He was really into it, but it just didn't fit, and I understand that when you first start off, I mean, this place isn't new. It was originally an Old West type of theme park / actor type of experience. And they decided to, I guess it's because of the Halloween season, they decided to go ahead and do something for Halloween. I was going to take some video. I really just didn't, after about 30, 45 minutes, I'm like, well, there's nothing really to take video of. They had a whole bunch of people that were in costume, and they were, they were doing their thing. There was a lot of Old West themed sheriff, the sheriff was chasing people around. And then there was an old ghostly kind of a small woman that just kind of went around and just kind of moaned and stuff. And they interacted with you to a certain point, but I am kind of a little bit larger person. I'm not a huge person, but I can be a little intimidating. I can be a little intense and stuff like that. I'm a serious person, and I guess I just didn't really fit into the whole theme. I tried to have fun. I tried to interact with some of the people, but some of them interacted with me. Some of them didn't. It just didn't really seem like it was really worth my while to even be there. So we found out that there was obviously a trail, which was like, I guess, quote unquote, the main event, where you got together with, a small group, and you did this semicircle where you went through different types of obstacles and stuff, and people were coming out and they were trying to scare you. And they were saying that, well, if you have this red bracelet on, then you're probably going to get buckets of blood dropped all over you. And I'm like, well, I had some decent clothes on, and I really did not want to have to launder my clothes afterwards. I really didn't feel like getting all nasty, because we drove 2 hours to go to this place. 2 hours. And I didn't feel like riding or driving 2 hours back all sticky and stuff like that. So I just took it off. And we actually walked behind a couple people that had theirs on, and they weren't even messed with, really. I mean, the extent of it was, some almost kids, teenagers coming out that were in masks. Some of them had kind of makeup on, and they got on your face, and they grunted, and they groaned, and they growled, and they screamed and yelled, and they were trying their best to scare, but it just was not coming off. It just didn't translate very well. The culmination of this whole thing was inside of a church. And everybody gathered around. They ushered us into a church, and we kind of sat there. And I'm sorry I don't have pictures or video or anything like that. I really wish I did, because it was kind of hilarious, because all of the people with the red bracelets sat in the front. I'm like, okay, this is going to be like a Gallagher show. There's going to be a whole bunch of different things that are going to be squashed, and there's going to be blood everywhere. And I was like, okay, this might be interesting. So we got all in there, and there was looked like almost an animatronics type of person that was stuck to the wall. It looked like he was just, and in reality, his head and his part of his arms were just coming out of the wall, and they were just kind of painted to match the wall. So it kind of looks like he was like kind of part of the wall, and he did a pretty good job and all that kind of stuff. And then the main person comes in. They, of course, he starts kind of splattering blood on people, almost like church, where it's like almost like it was holy water or something like that. There wasn't really buckets of anything. And the culmination was when the strobe lights go on, and the actors come out there. I think there was like maybe one or two, and they got it into the faces of the people that were on the front row. And then everything kind of broke loose, and everyone and then basically what happened is that I'm pretty sure it has to be, they were using the audio for all of their effects going through like an iPhone or an Android or something like that. And apparently they got a phone call in the middle of this. And so the ringtone came through the audio speakers in the middle of this while they're trying to be serious and scary. The typical ringtone comes through. And it was so hilarious. Everyone started laughing and just cracking up. I just couldn't hold it in. I just laughed and laughed and laughed. It was the best part of the entire experience. And they were so embarrassed that they kicked us out. They just didn't want to continue the show anymore. So I was really thankful that I was a part of that. So we left, and it was pretty much the same kind of lame interactions and people trying to get you to buy stuff. I actually bought a beer. I bought 2 beers, one for me and one for my wife. And they were $6 a piece for a kitty cup. And, the clear plastic kitty cups, probably half the size of a regular red Solo cup. Literally. They were that small. And they wanted $6. I ended up spending $13 with the tip because I wasn't tipping more than $1. Because they did give us a free, a couple free samples. Whoop-de-doo. Yeah, that was worth $1. But yeah, $13, and I didn't even get a buzz off of it. It was so bad, and I didn't even look at the food. The food was just outrageous. Overall, it was a very, very disappointing experience. It wasn't scary in the least. A lot of these places are actually popping up, and I think they're just, they're not really putting much effort into trying to scare you, and they're overcharging for, to get people in there, and it's not really interactive at all. I was gonna play a video of intro. I don't even think it's worth it because it's not. I don't even want to give them any type of really advertising. But it's called Terror Town. It's in Cincinnati, Ohio. If you live in Ohio, you're thinking about going to one of these places, just save your money. Seriously, save your money. Go do something else. This was totally not worth it. Worst birthday ever. Thanks so much, Terror Town. But the whole phone going off almost made it worth it. But until next time, stay safe and have a good week coming up. Have a good day. Bye.